Something really important to mention is epigenetics. And epigenetics is the reality that the way we express genes is optional. Human Genome Project was aware of around 100,000 proteins. So they thought they were going to find 100,000 genes to code for those proteins. When they started coding genes, they found 19,000 genes. And they got a bit confused because there's 100,000 proteins. What they didn't realize is that these genes can get mixed in different ways, like cutting and paste, like it's a string of letters and you can take a section here, put another section there. And the way that those genes are expressed are based on the environment. And the environment is changed by our thought processes, by our emotions. If you're under stress, your hormonal state in the body will be different to if you're under like the influence of love and gratitude and well-being. You can't be in stress and growth at the same time in the body. It's one or the other. The emotional state of defense or growth and nurturing and connection, these are very different. So when we're in gratitude and love and abundance, the sorts of hormones we release will express our genes in different ways, and this is epigenetics. So as we let things go, especially from our past and from our genetic lines, we can start expressing the DNA in our body in a different way. Because in our body is the DNA template for perfect health. We've all got the template for perfect health, but we've started to mess with the template. It's all free will and choice. We've started to mess with the template by experiencing negative emotions and negative hormones. That means that the genes are expressed, and this is epigenetics, genes are expressed in such a way to deal with a hostile environment. We constantly feel like we're under threat and under stress, fight or flight. Our body will express genes to deal with this. And this has a very negative effect on most people. Most people are doing this. So again, we come back to this idea of this living in a loving and gratuitous, impeccable, positive state where we are acknowledging our spirit, we're acknowledging the planet, we're acknowledging our food, we're acknowledging our water. We are in a state of constant gratitude and connection for the people around us. Everything. Just this giving thanks, this sense of prayer and acknowledgement. When you enter into a state of gratitude, your body feels like it's, even if you're not getting anything, you're not going to have a drink of water or no food. When you feel gratitude, your body feels like it's going to get something. Your body doesn't know the difference between gratitude and receiving a gift and just gratitude. So your body starts to act as if it's just receiving some light, some nourishment. So when we are in a state of gratitude, our body is coming into more of a state of growth, health, rest, and connection. It's important to realize that so much of our connection with each other is inhibited by stress. The female body is very different to the male body in the sense that it can be injured in certain ways that will put women into long-term states of fight or flight. This is higher baseline activation of the sympathetic nervous system, and this is the nervous system for fight or flight. Because of the female vagina brain connection, we live in a reality where there is so much, particularly in the Western world, so much hatred, anger, and abuse directed at the vagina that this changes the female wiring of their brain. The most extreme example of this is in Africa, they say that it was about 200 million women in the world who have experienced female circumcision. The pelvic nerve terminates in the clitoris, and when you cut this area, it's like doing something to the brain, because the vagina-brain connection are one and the same organ, essentially. And there seems to be some deep, dark, black magic from the masculine to hinder women in this way. When you traumatize women sexually, or they go through this sort of procedure like I just mentioned, you completely inhibit a woman's ability to have hopefulness. You corrupt her core sense of self, her creativity, and her ability to connect with herself, her children, her friends, and her sexual partner is completely impaired. Sexual assault, violent sex, and rape also, because of this connection, change women's fight or flight onto a whole different level, in the sense that she can have a higher pulse rate for her whole life. These are subconscious realities in the body. This is not a choice. This is from trauma. Higher pulse rate, higher startle rate, higher blood pressure, totally different sense of balance, different tone of voice. There is a lot of speculation around the actual statistics of sexual assault in the Western world. From anywhere to 25% to 75% of women. The statistics are hazy because so much of sexual assault and this sort of thing is not reported. But I would say that one of the largest health concerns as a society is the long-term compounding result of sexual assault. Not just against women, but against men as well. And women are more sensitive physiologically to this kind of assault than men, but the effects can be equally disabling in the long term, especially in adult life. So, with healing practices, it's an amazing reality with clients to help them see that a lot of these traumas are optional. Your timeline is optional, and to give them permission and to give them the opportunity to let go of traumas. When someone lets go of a trauma, especially something extreme, there's a very interesting thing that happens. For one, within months of the treatment, they might forget why they got the treatment. They might forget why they even came to you. The memory disappears. When we're in the state of spirit or in the state of dream time, we're really rebuilding those subconscious programmings and really rebuilding the timeline. The timeline is essentially an illusion, that you're changing the subconscious attachment to perceived events in the timeline of illusion. So when it comes to assault, someone could be very, very impaired with their connection with their sexual partners for their entire life. And then they clear the assault event, and all of a sudden the fear is gone, but they come back to a place of innocence with their partner. And when a woman is in fight or flight, her sexual response is so impaired because she is pumping blood away from that part of her body. And again, this fight or flight can be subconscious. So once you step out of these emotions and you close that dimension of time where the trauma happened, your entire reality when it comes to trust and connection totally changes. And that's one of the deepest states of learning and healing in our lives, can be with our deep, intimate sexual partners. So to be able to access a place of complete trust and vulnerability in these deep relationships in our life, that is the next level. After working with therapists or working on yourself, the next level of creativity, learning, and love and coherence with the planet is in deep, trusting, vulnerable relationships. And it's very important to take that into account.